Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to upgrade worker 1 and worker 2, which is compute plane nodes or data plane nodes, however you would like to call it as. So refer the third section on the upgrading Kubernetes GitHub page from my GitHub location. So that should be saying that upgrade compute plane or data plane node, which is node 1 and node 2. So in our case, it's worker 1 and worker 2. Now, this is the second thing which you're going to do after upgrading the control plane node or the manager node. So now while answering this question on the CKA exam, this is one of the critical component, and you need to do it one by one because they will know when you type these commands one by one. So it is much easier for you. So we're going to understand this in two scenarios. One is like answering your CKA exam, and second scenario is when you want to do it on a production server when you're actually working on this kind of situation. So both scenarios we will try to understand. So what we're going to do over here is that we are having two options over here. If you're using Debian operating system or Ubuntu, the package installation is going to be as simple as what you did here, and I've given you the commands as well for you to do that. So we're going to go to the location where we have 1.229 version. So 1.29 version on the worker 1 node. So firstly, we'll concentrate on the worker 1 node. Once that is completed in this video itself, we will complete worker 2 node. I'm using this worker 2 node to look at the scenario. So here you can see that in this broad namespace, I have one worker listening over here as a pod. So what I'm expecting here to happen is that when I drain the connection, I want this to be gone, and then created this node should be replaced by worker 2. But what of those namespaces where we have binded it as a node selector to that worker node 1? So it should not be actually working. So it should be going to another state. We will talk about that. So let's just go ahead and update the kube admin. So now this procedure is the same. yum-y install, and then you update the kube admin first with the disable excludes Kubernetes. So this is gonna update your kube admin right now. Now kube admin version will be updated, kube ADM version. So kube admin version is updated. So now if it's a control plane, then we have to use other options, but it's not. It's a node or a compute plane. So in this scenario, we will directly go ahead and use this command. Sudo, if you're running without the non-root permission, kubeadmin upgrade node. So this command is very useful in terms of like you tell this ADM that it is a node and needs to be updated. Okay, so you don't have to run any plan because there's no plan over here. Just give update node, and you can see that it is skipping the phase of not a control plane node. So it's just like it is not a control plane node. So backing up the Kubernetes configuration. So I hope that you have backed up all the configurations before you go ahead, because in one of those videos, I have also told you how to back up your entire configuration. So I hope that you followed this. But as we are doing it on a trial and error basis and for studying development purpose, so we're not worried about any kind of a data loss because we know how to replicate it again. So writing a kubelet configuration into this file, and then it's just like successfully updated. So this looks good. So when I type the kubeadmin version, now I can see that it's updated to 1.29.5. So this is no change, this has no change, and this has no change as well. So now let's go ahead and drain the node. Please make sure that before you upgrade the actual run the yum install the kubelet and kube control, you drain the node, because as of now, you can see that there has nothing has been updated. Everything is working fine and everything is running on the worker 1 node. So till now, you are not actually pushed the button of the upgrade button. Okay, so before you push the button, you need to make sure you drain the node and you need to cordon the node, which means that you need to make sure that nothing is schedulable here, and whatever is scheduled, the draining will take care of it. Draining means it removes all the connections, so which means that whatever the nodes which is used on that particular node will be drained off, which means it would be obviously removed or flushed or terminated. So kube control, drain, and then you type in the node name which you want to drain, which is worker 1, and then you say ignore daemon sets. Just a second. There you go. So now the draining has been started. It's pending on the worker 1 because there's some daemon sets over here. And then you can see that this is a worker node which is currently running right there, and unable to drain worker node due to the error over here. There are pending nodes to be drained. So it has just cordoned the node but not drained the node. So let me just try one more time again. Let's remove the ignore daemon set. No, it's not working. Cannot drain. Now this is the reason. What actually happened is that you're not able to drain this. You are able to only unschedule it. There is a reason for it, because you can see this exception over here that says forbidden. So which means that you don't really have the access to drain because you are in the worker 1 node. That's why it is happening. So what you need to do is like you need to be executing this from the control plane node. Very simple. So just execute this from the control plane node and you can see, I'm sorry, I have to give ignore daemon set. Ignore daemon set, and you can see that it is actually happening right now. So the worker 1 here got terminated and then worker 2 came in because it's a deployment and it needs to make sure that you have all the replicas there. So you have to make sure that you drain this from your control plane node, but not from your worker node. I just want to show you that. That's why I simulated this problem and I forgot about that. And yeah, never mind. So you can see that right now, ignoring daemon set, and you can see that there is some eviction went on. So it's saying evicting this pod under this node. So it has removed that one node, one pod from this node worker 1. And then dev is also removed, and then kube system code DNS is also removed. And because it is being drained. So all those which connects with that is all evicted. So it's the deployments. So right now you don't have this worker 1 node involved in your cluster. Now the second thing to notice is that the dev interface is hard-coded, as in like used a node selector for worker 1. Now you can see that it has gone to pending state because it is hard-coded to worker 1 node. It is not able to schedule it, and whatever it has scheduled, right, we have drained it. So which means that we have removed it, and it's not able to allocate any resourcing there because it's currently in the pending state. So now let's go back to prod and then let's look at the prod. So as of now, it is scheduling is disabled because it is drained and it is cordoned as well. So now let's go ahead and yum install -y star, and you can just give -, disable excludes equal to Kubernetes. So now this is installing the kube control and kubelet on the worker node 1. Now we do the restart of the daemon. So system control, daemon, reload, and then restart kubelet. Okay, now you can see that the service got changed to 1.29.5. So now go ahead and unharden this node, which is worker one. Yeah, done. So this is how you need to complete this training unhardening. So this is how you need to answer your exam. When you type the commands, right, you need to type in all these commands and you need to understand these commands very importantly, because typing a command doesn't make any sense until you understand it. So understand what you're doing. This is a lot of procedures here. You need to do it by procedure. So you saw that how much error I got if in case I execute a command on the wrong node, right? So likewise, you need to be careful about these commands. Sometimes you won't have time because it is a time-based exam, right? So you need to be making sure that you understand what you're doing so that you practice this multiple times. You uninstall it. I've given you steps for uninstalling it. I've given you steps for installing it again. So it should not be a problem because I have done this thousands of times for this training alone. I've dedicated my time and did this multiple times so that, I can present to you in a very good manner. So likewise, so we are done with the worker node one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this command on this location right now. So now let's do the worker 2 upgrade. So now for the worker 2, before we go ahead, if you're doing this for the exam, go ahead and do the same exact step for the worker 1 on the worker 2 as well. But if you are doing this on a live environment, okay, and we have done the upgrade for worker 1, now it's time for you to do worker 2 upgrade. Make sure your deployments, which is on the worker 2, has a replacement, because what happens when you drain the connection is that all these nodes gets drained, which means that gets terminated and then new nodes are created. So there is a little bit of downtime, though you have already got a downtime for your application which is running on it because you're upgrading it. It is always recommended to increase the deployment size. Just scale up the deployment to another 3 nodes. So which means like if it's 3 nodes already, scale it up to 6 nodes. And then that will pop up some servers on the worker 1 node. So when you do that, you basically in avoiding downtime in this situation. But if you have done the deployment in another method, right? So there are multiple ways of deploying it. So if you have done another method, that's also kind of useful. So that's another tip in case if you're doing it on production. But if you're doing it on the test item, then it's not much of information I can give you on that. So any which ways, let's patch worker 2. So let's go to the location where you have the 1.29 version and then yum-y install. And then I'm just going to give kubeadmin, and then I'm going to give disable exclude the section item. Perfect. So now kubeadmin is getting installed. Now you need to drain and harden this node. So just going to give this command on the control plane node. I cannot give it over here because I don't have permission to do that. So now it's going to see, look at this, as I'm not planning this on, I'm just running it just like that without populating some nodes on the worker 1. You can see that when I drain these nodes, you can see that gets terminated and then new ones started getting created and started running. So there is a little bit of downtime, but you should be fine in case if you've got the downtime already done. So now you can see that all these are hosted right now on the worker 1. So now if you just see the dev mode over here, so it will work fine. The dev namespace, so you can see that it's running. There's no impact on this. But if you see the test one, which we have hard-coded it to be on the worker 2, I can see that it's gone to pending state. So now let's just patch this and bring it back up. So now all you have to do is like run the kube upgrade node command. So this should get completed on that node. And then the next command is basically installing the other items over here. Install the rest of the items, or all the items in this folder, by giving star, and then you should get both kubelet and kube control installed on the system. And then once that is completed, you can just restart all these things, restart your daemon, restart your kubelet, and you will see that update over here. There you go. So it's updated now. So uncarden this work2 node, and there you go, voila. So you completed your complete installation or upgrade right now. So all your nodes on the test would have been started right now, running state, right? So this is how you need to do it without downtime, and this is how you need to answer that question. But do remember all these commands and do understand this, because it is going to be much easy for you to remember, because when you understand this, right, it means that you can actually utilize these commands on your work as well as like passing your exams as well. Thank you again for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave it on the question session. I'll see you on the next one.